of you with an Islamic greeting. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today is 25th December, and as you all know that it is the day of Christmas celebration. Well, on social media I've been receiving a lot of greetings and congratulations of Christmas. So I've been thinking, I've had this doubt that what is the hukum in Islam on congratulating my non-Muslim friends, my Christian friends. So before I answer you this, I would like you to explore the origin of Christmas. So as you know that I'm an immature historian and would-be archaeologist, so it's my job to dig up the past. I will be referring to Christian and to academic reference books, and we'll be discussing on these issues. The origin of Christmas. The word Christmas is formed by Christ plus Mass, meaning a religious service celebration of the birth of Christ. About the Christmas, it is mentioned in the commentary of the New International Version of the Bible that the anniversary of the birth of Christ is observed. The date of the birth of Christ is not known. Christmas is celebrated by the most Protestant and by Roman Catholics on December 25, by Eastern Orthodox Church on January 6th, and by the American Church on January 19th. The Gulf Bible commentary has had this to say about Luke chapter 2 verse number 11, the exact date of Jesus is not known. The birth of the legendary mythical date of December 25th cannot be traced back further than the 4th century. Why is it said that it cannot be traced further than the back century? The idea of Christmas came by 325 AD. It was approximately 325 years after Jesus departed into heavens. It was the time of Constantine, who was the ruler of the Byzantine Roman Empire. According to a Roman almanac, the Christmas was celebrated as a Christian's festival in Rome by AD 336. In fact, Christmas Day did not officially come into being until 354 AD, when Pope Gregory proclaimed December 25th as the date of Nativity. In doing so, he was following the early church's policy of observing rather than repressing. Exiting pagan rites, the date, the celebration of the festival and the custom of decorating the tree was observed from 4 different pagan religions, which neither Jesus nor his real followers of Jesus Christ approved. The pagan Roman festival marking the birth of the unconquered sun, Nutulus Solis, I'm sorry for my pronunciation because it's Latin word, but you can read it on the screen. It is the festival of the winter solstice. The pagan festival most closely associated with the new Christmas was the Roman Saturnalia, as I said, sorry for my pronunciation, which honored the god of harvest, Saturn, on December 19th, and was marked by 7 days of riches, merry-making and feasting. Mithraism, the cult of Mithras, a Persian sun god, the worship of which reached Rome in about AD 69, based on betrayal, suffering, and exploits of Mithras. The cult appealed to soldiers. December 25 was the chief's feast of Mithras. The Christmas tree was formed the pagan practice of Northern Europe. The people then believed that the evil spirits were causing the trees to lose their leaves during the fall season, and they observed that evergreen tree does not lose its leaf like the other trees. So they concluded that the tree has special powers and that it keeps the evil away. It becomes popular outside Germany only in the
Find out,
1840s.
because what you're going to see is that Christmas was celebrated thousands of years ago, even before the birth of the Messiah. In fact, in Warner Keller's book, The Bible as History, we receive this following admission, quote, December 25th is referred to in documents as Christmas Day in AD 324 for the first time. Under the Roman Emperor Justinian as of the 6th century AD, it was recognized as an official holiday. An old Roman festival played a major part in the choice of this particular day. December 25th in ancient Rome was known as the Dies Natali Invictus, which can also be pronounced as the Dies Natali Solis Invicti or Sol Invictus, which also means birth of the unconquered sun, the day of the winter solstice, and at the same time in Rome, the last day of the Saturnalia, which had long since degenerated into a week of unbridled carnival. So on December 25th, in ancient Mithraism, this day gave homage to Mithras, the sun idol, who oddly resembles Lady Liberty, as you can see with the halo behind. But this day did not just give homage to Mithras, oh, quite the contraire. Now there was also the ancient Roman festival known as Saturnalia, which was a festival in homage of the sun idol Saturn, originally held on December 17th for a week, with festivities all the way up until December 23rd. Now during this pagan Roman winter solstice, it was celebrated with the sacrifice at the temple of Saturn in the Roman Forum, along with a public banquet. But did you also know that during Saturnalia, there was also private gift-giving, continual partying, carnival atmospheres that also overturned Roman social norms, and during this time, gambling was also permitted. And according to Michael Grant's book, History of Rome, before long the Emperor Aurelian established a massive temple of the unconquerable sun as the central and focal point of the entire religious system of the state of Rome, and the birthday of this pagan deity was to be observed into December 25th and thus transformed into what's commonly known as Christmas. But there was the ancient Roman winter solstice festival, also known as Brumalia, that honored and gave homage to idols such as Saturn and Kronos, as well as Ceres and Demeter and even Bacchus. And by the Byzantine era, celebrations went from November 24th all the way up until Saturnalia around December 23rd and lasted close to a month and was celebrated as late as the 6th century AD. And during this time, feasting, merriment, and sacrificing pigs to idols took place. And then, contemporarily speaking, this all gave rise to what's commonly known as Yule, which is one of the pagan Wiccan celebrations that is commonly celebrated and observed from December 20th all the way up until December 23rd in order to celebrate the rebirthing of the sun. Although originally observed by Germanic peoples, giving homage to Odin, who is also known as the Germanic god of death, among several others, this festival is just one of the 8 festivals that's celebrated by the Wiccans around the same time as Christmas. And not only does it have to do with paying homage to the rebirthing of the sun, but it's also all about magic, bonfires, as well as potluck and feasting. But where does Christmas really come from? Did it really originate 2,000 years beforehand, or was it a celebration that was partaken even thousands of years before that? Because according to the Roman Catholic Church and the Catholic Encyclopedia of the 1911 edition, when you even look up the word Christmas, you will see that it says Christmas was not among the earliest festivals of the church, and then it goes on to say that, quote, the first evidence of the feast is from Egypt, unquote. But what you're about to see is that Christmas traces its origins all the way back to Babylon. Now we will be talking about topics that are commonly associated with Christmas today, the first being most commonly known to many, Santa Claus. Because did you know Santa Claus is actually a corruption of the name Saint Nicolaus, who was a Roman Catholic bishop during the 5th century AD. And according to Encyclopedia Britannica, Volume 19, pages 648 through 649, you will read, quote, Saint Nicolaus, Bishop of Myra, a saint honored by the Greeks and Latins on the 6th of December, and it also says a legend of his surreptitious bestowal of dowries on the 3 daughters of an impoverished citizen is said to have originated the old custom of giving presents in secret on the eve of Saint Nicolaus or December 6th, which was then subsequently transferred to Christmas Day, hence the association of Christmas with Santa Claus. But there is something even darker and more interesting and suspicious indeed when you closely look at Santa Claus and even his name, Santa. Because if you unscramble the word Santa, you get the word Satan, and you can actually do this on your own and you will see that this is the case. But this isn't the only way that Christmas pays homage to Satan. Oh, we're just getting started. Now we'll be discussing the Christmas tree and its origins, because it's not what you think it is, and it does not originate where you think it comes from. Now, the Christmas tree originated in Germany, but also got its roots from the Romans, who then got it from the Egyptians, who then also got it from the Babylonians. And we even see mention of Christmas trees in scripture as spoken of in Jeremiah chapter 10 verses 1 through 4 as well. But what is the real purpose behind the Christmas tree? Well, according to William Walsh's Curiosities of Popular Customs, page 242, quote, an old Babylonian fable told of an evergreen tree which sprang out of a dead tree stump. The old stump symbolized the dead Nimrod. The new evergreen tree symbolized that Nimrod had come to life again in Tammuz. Among the Druids, the oak was sacred. Among the Egyptians, it was the palm. And in Rome, it was the fir, which was decorated with red berries during the Saturnalia. There is much more to the story when it comes to the Christmas tree. And what does the obelisk and the Christmas tree have in common, you may be wondering? They are both phallic symbols that represent the phallic symbol of Nimrod, and the Babylonian story goes as follows. After the death of Nimrod in Babylonian tradition, who is commonly known as Horus in Egyptian tradition, what then happened is that the wife of Nimrod, who is Semiramis or Isis in Egyptian tradition, then scooped up all of his body parts, finding all of them except one body part. And of course, the one part that she did not find was his phallic symbol, or his penis, which then became a symbol and symbolized by the obelisk and even the Christmas tree. Because whether you know it or not, Christmas actually gives homage to the birth of Nimrod, the sun idol, and we'll be talking more about that in just a moment to come. And then of course we have presents and gift giving, which originates all the way back to Saturnalia, paying homage to Saturn, the deity of agriculture. But what about the lovely ornaments you see on Christmas trees? Where do they originate from? In ancient Roman tradition, the Romans decorated their trees in order to honor Bacchus, the god of fertility, during Saturnalia, and they also placed 12 candles on the tree in honor of the sun god. But that's not all. And what the Greeks did is that they worshipped Adonia, who was allegedly brought back to life or rebirth by the serpent Asclepius after having been slain, once again paying homage to rebirthing during this time. And we also know that the Germans attached fruit and candles on their trees in order to honor Woden, where the name Wednesday originates from. But what about all of those lovely lights that you see? Well, these lights, along with the ornaments, they give homage to Nimrod, the sun deity, representing rebirth of the sun, and we know that Satan transforms himself as a messenger or angel of light, because the Christmas tree and the Christmas lights and the Christmas decoration, they all give homage and honor to Nimrod, who is commonly also known as Baal, not to mention the stars on the Christmas tree, which represents the star of Ishtar, the wife of Satan, literally. And then we have the reindeer, in which we're commonly taught and told that the reindeer are the ones that sleigh around Santa so that he can deliver presents to children on the evening of Christmas Day. But there's even a darker truth behind what reindeer really symbolize. Because according to paganism, reindeer are commonly associated with the horn god of the pagans, most commonly the horn god Cernunnos, who oddly resembles the Baphomet. Now Cernunnos is said to be the Celtic god of fertility, animals, wealth, as well as the underworld. But there is more to be told about reindeer even in Norse mythology. In Norse mythology, there is also a horse who is commonly known as Sleipnir, who is an 8-legged horse of the god Odin, who is known to be a, quote, helping spirit, and became a stallion giant and travels throughout the worlds in Norse stories and myths. Now that you know that Satan is actually the one that's riding these reindeers and not Santa, you'll know what reindeer is all about when it comes to Christmas.
Now, as we know that all these were pagan rituals, so we will see now what the Bible says about the concept of birthday. The concept of birthday itself came from a pagan origin. In the Bible, it is mentioned in the book of Genesis, chapter 40, verse number 20, that now, the third day of the Pharaoh's birthday, and he gave a feast for all his officials. On Herod's birthday, the daughter of Herod dances for them and pleased Herod so much. Well, it is from Matthew, chapter 40, verse number 6. Well, it is obvious from what I've mentioned before that the ritual of Christmas celebration is of pagan kings. Well, it is clearly said in the Bible in Jeremiah chapter 10 verse number 2 to 3 that do not follow the way of pagans, or you can say Hatans. Kafiron ki tehvar ki pairvi mat karo. And the verse continues, for the customs of people are vain. Well, I know it's hard to break away, but think sincerely. Is it logistic to celebrate the Christmas? After knowing its background, after knowing what our Lord has to command about it, or our Lord has to command to not follow the Hatans, do you still want to celebrate Christmas? No. Now see what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has to say in Quran, in Surah Maryam, chapter 19, verse number 88 and 89, about these Hatans.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful.
وَقَالُوا اتَّخَذَ الرَّحْمَنُ وَلَدًا.
And they say, the most merciful has taken for himself a son.
لَقَدْ جِئْتُمْ شَيْئًا إِدًّا.
You have done an atrocious thing.
تكاد السماوات يتفطرن منه وتنشق الأرض وتخر الجبال هدا.
The heavens almost rupture therefrom, and the earth splits open, and the mountains collapse in devastation.
أن دعوا للرحمن ولدا.
That they attribute to the most merciful a son.
وما ينبغي للرحمن أن يتخذ ولدا.
And it is not appropriate for the most merciful that he should take a son.
إن كل من في السماوات والأرض إلا آتي الرحمن عبدا.
There is no one in the heavens and earth but that he comes to the most merciful as a servant.
لقد أحصاهم وعدهم عدا
He has enumerated them and counted them a full counting.
وكلهم آتيه يوم القيامة فردا
And all of them are coming to him on the day of resurrection alone.
إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات سيجعل لهم الرحمن ودا
Indeed, those who have believed and done righteous deeds, the Most Merciful will appoint for them affection.
Now, after listening to the ayah, do you still want to celebrate Christmas? Because Nasbillah, it is an abuse to God, saying that God has taken a son for himself. It is a total abuse. So even if you're a Muslim and you still want to celebrate Christmas, well then good luck to you. Because we Muslims are going to consider you as a pagan or kafir.